Chunking is super important to understand in programming. Chunking is the idea that when you are remembering something, you don't remember every single aspect of it, but rather your brain naturally finds patterns and combines multiple items into a single chunk that's easier to remember. So the classic example is remembering a phone number. It's 10 full digits. Or you can remember, oh, I know the area code for Atlanta, and the next 2 digits are the month that I was born in, and the next 4 are the year Kennedy was assassinated, and then the number 6. And so instead of remembering 10 things, you have a smaller number of things to remember. And this doesn't only apply to memory, it also applies to instructions or learning things. So imagine you were teaching an alien how to cook, right? Like you'd have to start with like very low level things like put the pan on the stove, add water to the pan, put the knife on top of the carrot and push down. But on day 2, you can chunk a lot of that stuff into commands, simpler things like chop, boil, simmer, saute, things like that. And then you can chunk those into even more abstract concepts like make a picnic or make a Thanksgiving dinner, right? So chunking is really, really important because you're taking building blocks and using those building blocks to build bigger building blocks. And then you can use that bigger building block to get more done for the same cost as using one of the smaller building blocks. So the fundamental idea is that it costs the same in terms of computational power or developer effort to use a big chunk as a small chunk. And so you want to build big chunks that can be reused. And so that's a great thing to keep in mind for programming in general. But what is worth realizing is Bubble is an abstraction of traditional code in this way. Think about it. The chunks that you have available to use in Bubble are bigger than the chunks in traditional code. And this is one of the reasons that Bubble is faster and still just as powerful. And also, it's one of the reasons why I really think that AI is going to be amazing, because AI has less pieces to work with when it's working and building in Bubble. A simple login flow could easily be thousands of chunks in traditional code, and each chunk has thousands of potential things that can connect to validly. Whereas in Bubble, the number of chunks is much smaller and the number of valid connections is much smaller, but the things you can accomplish are the same. So AI and Bubble are going to be amazing for that reason. I got some ideas, but those are going to be some other videos.